Zinenko Sergei, Business Development Director. Welcome to everybody. And today we're going to discuss two important items. KYC at the threshold of registering the securities in our product, DigiU.Wealth, the mastermind of which is Sergei. And also I'm very pleased to give you a very important long-awaited news at the end of our webinar. So please make sure you stay with us till the very end. We'll try to be very brief and concise. Please write your questions in the chat on those issues. KYC, securities, and DigiU.Wealth. And today you'll be able to get answers to these questions and all about it from Sergei. Sergei, welcome, dear colleagues. I'm very happy to see all of you at this webinar. Thank you so much for giving attention to us, for listening to our news, and for your interest to what's happening in the project. A few words about KYC. According to the law of many jurisdictions, we are obligated to know with whom we interact. And with regard to the registered securities, this rule is in a full swing. We must know who is the owner of our securities, where these owners reside, and to have some other initial information. Right now we work with our contractors and legal advisors who give us consultation with regard to securities, how does it work in Cyprus and in Russia. And right now we are building up the business process, which is styled KYC, and you all have to pass through it. Know your customer. What does it mean, KYC? Basically two simple things. We have to know who are you. We need to have your passport details. We need to know whether you reside, and also some additional information. The total volume of information, the ultimate items, will be available. We'll know for sure a little bit later, but the basic things is we need to know what's your name, your patronymic, if you have found whether your results with some supporting documents. If something is unclear to us, we will have to ask you additional documents. As a result, we'll be able to compile the register of the owners of our securities, and everybody who is involved in building up our projects will be on this register. So an entry to this register is a confirmation that you own our securities. And we also would like to inform our audience that right now there is simultaneous translation. Our English-speaking audience will get the translation a little bit later. But Sergei, thank you so much for explaining what does it mean, KYC, what data would be necessary to the holders of our securities. Well, as I said, you need to know who you are, whether you reside. Perhaps some additional information will be required, but that will be known a little bit later. If we're talking about the ICN of what we know, the maximum will start with the Russian residents, those who reside in Russia. We will require the passport number from you and the place of your residence, which is also entered in the passport. This data will be on the register. As we already mentioned in our post about KYC procedures, first of all, it will be launched for Russian citizens, simply because we are based in Russia. We are aware of all the documents necessary, so it's much easier for us to roll on the entire process of data obtaining, legitimate data obtaining with the citizens of Russia. And further on, when this procedure will be launched, the other citizens of and nationals of other countries who are holders of the DigiU.Wealth securities will be covered. So if we look at this sequence, who gonna be after whom, again, first of all, we'll try it in Russia, and then we'll roll it on to other jurisdictions. We wanted to make it easy and simple, wanted to understand how it goes, and we wanted to make it easy and simple for you. So please follow our news, and as soon as you got a tab about this procedure, you will have to download all the data and just pass through this procedure. Our expectations is that the first owners of our securities would be able to obtain them for their usage. I also would like to reassure you that we absolutely abide to the law on personal protection, personal data protections, and all personal data will be accessible only to the people who are directly involved in this procedure and work with you. So be confident, there'll be absolutely no problems, and certainly communicating with our partners and reading the charts very often will have some questions like, guys, somewhere it can be done in just 5 minutes and these straight away can be launched. But we always understand that whatever we do and how we do it, it is absolutely in line with the law. That is why it enables us to issue the registered security according to the necessary standards. We do everything according to bits and pieces of the law. So sometimes this is not that quickly, but it is correct. And since we wanted to work for a long perspective, we have to follow this route. And also, after this procedure is completed for the citizens of Russia, then we'll be able to estimate the speed of the procedure. Right now, we already have more than 70 shares holder from 180 countries, and we believe that this procedure will be completed throughout this year and everybody will be issued securities. If you have any questions regarding KYC, please write them down. And right now we are moving to our product DigiU.Wealth, and Sergei is the mastermind of this product. The product has been in the market for already 5 months, maybe a little bit longer. So how would you evaluate this period and the results? Well, first of all, dear colleagues, thank you very much for your trust, for your understanding, for your readiness to invest in pretty new products that appear on the market, and your readiness to follow this path together with us by training DeFi, by learning these new technologies, decentralized informations that definitely is the future of the financial system. Now, evaluating these prospects and also this accumulated experience is extremely positive. Reason being, we've got fantastic trust. We've got 7-digit figure in our management, and the results of our managing are quite good. It happens first of all because on the one hand we generate trust, on the other hand we position this product really nicely for our audience. What's the difference? Wealth products has no downside risk. What does it mean? It means that you give us a particular amount of Bitcoin in USDT, for example, and we put it in decentralized pools, and we earn on fairing, on commissions from the exchange transactions. The way we do it, you see, the profit margin cannot go down. It can go up. Well, sometimes we earn a little bit more, a little bit less, but there is no single day or no single minute one will lose something. We only earn. And I believe we succeeded in bringing this message to the audience that this is our difference. In a way, we're kind of a bank deposit, because bank deposit doesn't promise you extremely high margins, but it gives you the feeling of calmness. You know that you wake up tomorrow and you'll have your money safe and sound. It can be a little bit more, a little bit less, but anyway, the amount is growing. So we've built up this confidence. We explained to our investors what exactly we're doing, and we were able to obtain pretty serious amount in our management. So thank you, thanks to us, thanks to the entire team that works on the wealth projects, and We can only praise decentralized finances. The future is there. For me, being right in the midst of those processes, I can see how many of them are here: management, placing, etc. According to your estimates, since we were able to create product without downside risk, like a bank deposits, what else have we managed to achieve? What are other strong sides? Working with wealth, we have a motto like to searching alpha. I don't really like this word searching for, because it implies that we've been searching, and not necessarily found it. But if we're kind of able to get on the top of it and write it, that means we really were able to do it. Alpha is the first letter in the Greek alphabet, if I'm not mistaken, and it shows to what extent the managing company works better than the market. For example, if you bought an index for American market and it increased by 20% per year, and your manager showed you the same 20% per year, so he basically didn't earn his money, because you would get the same profit margin without this manager. So alpha indicates how good is your manager. So if alpha showed 30% and the market grew by 20%, that means the difference is 10%. So what do we do here with our product? We systematically are searching for alpha and place the funds, and because of this, we'll get better profit margins than with the same pools on those markets. The profit margins is roughly around 10, 12, 15% per year, but what we've been able to demonstrate recently was 30, 40% per year, or maybe even more. So I believe we've been able to build up the process for systematically searching for alpha and placing the funds of our partners and clients there. This is our key achievement in this pretty short period, and we're gonna continue those efforts. We're gonna work more, we'll be more accurate and precise, and we'll be working on this market in a conservative manner to make sure that we have only upward trend and look for the most interesting situations, so that this upward movement would be the maximum possible on a particular market. With regard to our targets as to what we want to create, I believe the most interesting opportunities will emerge in the blockchain laboratory, which is now doing very interesting things, and to a certain extent there'll be the key things for the big defiling. I do not have the right, to be honest, to disclose all our possible works and what we would like to do, but I am confident that our efforts will enable us to get even higher profit margins, to work in a more automated mode, at a higher speed of funds movement, and always be at the very hot spot where the most interesting things are happening. So in the future, I expect even a higher synergy from blockchain laboratory and the wealth product. I'm absolutely confident we'll be able to open new additional abilities for earnings, and it all be reflected in the profit gained by our clients. Once again, let me to remind you that the project DigiU.Wealth is one of the products of our system, and the first product enabling the at that time shareholders, now securities holders, to get their dividends. Dear friends, it would be great if all of you who use this product, so if you can write your feedback, explain your experience of interacting with this product, the DigiU.Wealth. How did you invest your funds? Was it easy? To what extent it was clear and understandable? And maybe you put some more comments of yours and your questions. We'll all together read them, and if definitely answer you. Now, if there are any questions from the audience, we'll read them and try to answer them. And those of you who haven't put your questions yet, now is the great time to do it. We are reading your questions. A question from Kristina Belikova. Can minors pass the KYC procedure? It's a great question. At the moment, I cannot give you 100% information where the minors, our customers who are underage, can pass through this procedure. The reason being, we understand clearly what's happening within the Russian law, but we don't know yet what's the attitude of, for example, the Cyprus jurisdictions to a possibility for minors to own securities. But what I can guarantee you, that will definitely put all possible efforts, that all partners of our companies, regardless of their age, whether they are 14 or they are 80, all our partners who invested in us will put all possible efforts that you can pass calmly through this procedure. It would be smooth and easy, and then you can use those securities. Christina also asked, what about the language for applying those securities, English or Russian? And we believe in the personal account will create a special form that would be clear and easy to fill in, and you would be able to do it. Next question. What if you do not have any documents confirming your residence? Again, pretty good question. I believe we'll look into these situations, and it's probably will be done on a case-by-case basis. You'll approach our technical support and we'll find for a solution, because at the moment I cannot tell you whether it is possible without an official documents confirming your residence. But I can tell you that this procedure, know your client, obviously it implies that we not only know who you are, what you name it, but also where you live, and we'll discuss perhaps some other temporary documents which can substitute such official documentation. I believe in other jurisdictions such questions also can arise. So with accumulating experience, we'll deal with all these issues on a case-by-case basis. What if a person has to exchange a passport? Well, I believe if you already passed the KYC with particular documents and particular data, then definitely you'll have to forward your new documents to us, because we definitely have to know the updated information concerning your passport and your residence. This is a pretty standard requirement. Next question. If I submitted to you my scan of my passport during verification, do I have to submit it once again? Well, we haven't done any verifications using passports. I simply don't remember this. We basically rely on a phone number. So perhaps you are a little bit mistaken. You're not talking about us. And now it's a question about wealth, I believe, how you can put money directly from the card to DigiU.Wealth. Well, unfortunately, now the procedure of moving from fiat to cryptocurrency is not the easiest due to the current circumstances. At the moment, we do not have a contractor or a partner who would support the entire process, but we are always in contact. We can always recommend you various resources where you can perform such exchange. So this you can do on your own, and then the management of your cryptocurrency. This is the reason why I exist, and that's what we do with great pleasure every day. So at the moment, we do not have a solution that would make life easy for everybody in terms of this transition, but we're always happy to advise you about opportunities available on the market at the moment. Let me add that it is not that difficult to open a crypto wallet and acquire cryptocurrency. You can always get to our chats in Russian or in English. You can approach our technical support and competent specialists, either our specialist or As people who often ask the questions in our charts, they will definitely recommend you the best resources and advise you how you can do it in the safest way. And also, now Boris Povarov, our IT director, is working on a blockchain course which will be presented in the near future, and this course will give you a lot of questions to most important answers and will increase your knowledge and functionality with regard to cryptocurrency, raising you to a much higher level. Did you have a meeting with the fund, and how was it? Victoria, I'll answer your question the way I understand it, and if I'm not answering your question, then put more data so that we understand. A lot of different investments funds approach us on a regular basis. So we can say, once again, on a regular basis, we've been approached and negotiations are held on a regular basis. As soon as we get information, we can share with you some firm arrangements or decisions made. We always report them. At the moment, we do not have such information. Let me add that, first we do, and then we'll tell about it. At the moment, we are in a process of negotiations, and as soon as we are ready to convey this to you, something which definitely gives value to us as the project developers and our partners, then we'll definitely give this information to you. But the specific of negotiation is that when we have some interim results, typically you do not share them. Because of course there are some projects and some people who tell you about every single detail, but we are going to share with you some very particular information when there is an understanding that we're giving you some additional value. So the main principle is do more, talk less. And it's been on a number of occasions that we confirm these principles. And I also would like to give you a long-awaited news, the date of paying new dividends. We are now certain with it. So it's an official announcement. Thank you to DigiU.Wealth, and it's efficient, uninterrupted operation for about 5 months. Now it's already for the second time we can officially declare and fulfill our obligations on dividend payment. 10th of May will be the next date of dividend payments. So every shareholder or those who are going to get their packages for the first time will take part in distribution of dividends. So the date is May the 10th. And to make sure that your interaction with our system is even better, let me remind of another principle that we also follow. Did you always like to meet our partners halfway? So today we have a special promotion to fix the costs of the DigiU securities for everybody who purchases DigiU securities in March 2021. The cost of shares will be fixed automatically. And I'd like to add some information. Knowing what's happening and knowing how artificial intelligence is developing within DigiU, and knowing what the blockchain laboratory is doing, knowing everything as an insider, I can let you know that most probably the price of shares will increase considerably this year. So for everyone who have purchased shares in March, even if you did it yesterday, so the cost of shares will be fixed for you. My congratulations about this. I'm always happy when I can deliver such news. When is the next dividend payment date? And I'm always proud to do this, because it's kind of a confirmation of all our words, and it's also a confirmation of your trust as you being involved in DigiU's use ecosystem. So thank you, everybody. Thanks to Sergei, who shared so much important information with us. Please write up your questions. Please